using, let's say, for me, I can say it's ridiculous to say you can employ 500,000 youths.
It's so let me respond. Let's leave the adjectives. I'll tell you one. So the Finance Act obviously has ways of increasing revenue, which is something that government has the responsibility to do. And government has decided that it could increase revenue in those ways. But the same government
Yeah.
has, sorry, the same government has been able to establish a youth entrepreneurship fund, which already exists. The Ministry of Youth has a youth entrepreneurship fund. The Ministry of Gender has a fund.
And
They've been able
what
to.
what
Sorry, I
what
have to respond. I have to respond to your question.
okay.
And the Ministry of Gender has been able to establish a fund for entrepreneurs. And in the how, we're very clear that the way we're going to achieve those 500,000 jobs is that we are going to provide tax and non-tax incentives for private sector to hire youth. We're going to have special funds to reimburse costs of hiring, training, and upskilling youth incurred by private sector. That there's going to be a government policy that encourages inclusion of youth in public work and infrastructure projects. We'll establish youth opportunity centers in every district. And by the way, there are chiefdom youth centers and chiefdom youth leagues already from the Ministry of Youth, that there will be more access to capital for youth that wish to start their own venture. And I see this, and this is something that's going to be great, where young people, there are many young people who I know who are entrepreneurs now, who are employing other people, and that we will track these processes and provide connectivity. So it is possible. We did not just promise this because we want to promise it out of nothing. And I'm happy that you're skeptical. That's okay. But we know that we will create these 500,000 jobs and create the environments for that to happen. Thank you. Ibrahim Lux. Ibrahim Lux.
Yeah. Hello, listeners.
Yes, thank you. You're the last person to speak, so you're lucky.
I'm overwhelmed. First of all,
Thank you.
Mr. Honorable Minister, I'm so happy. I'm so delighted with your good work you're doing all over the country, especially I'm from Wanjamirian, from Pujon District.
Mm-hmm.
Talk and do president, make it very important for all Sierra Leoneans.
Thank you. I want you to get to your question so that we can finish quickly.
I understand, sir. The question here is, Mr. Minister, the radical inclusion. We are my villages, YKK.
Mm-hmm.
We are so happy because every kids are not available to schools. So we are very happy and we want to say thank you. That's all I want to say.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. I think you're right that radical inclusion actually is one of those things that will be something that our children's children will thank us for. It's not. It's obviously when we started it, there were lots of people who were resisting and lots of people who thought that it was the wrong idea and whatnot. So I'm grateful that you know that you recognize it, and everybody else does. I want to thank everybody who listened. Maybe I'll keep doing this at various points in time and where I can focus on specific things. But today, just to summarize, we spoke about the Day of the African Child, the ongoing MWAS exams, which we're thankful for everybody for supporting our children. Super exciting is that even with all this campaign going on, the kids are taking the exams. I hope we keep education important for our children. And we've spoken about the gains and the next steps. So thank you everybody for joining me, and share the link with others who missed it, so that you can listen. And I hope you can go from there. The one takeaway that I will make from this, that we will make sure that becomes January 1, 2024. If you're a private school that has not met the standards set by the Education Act, you will be closed. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Yeah, that'll be the Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary. Yeah, maybe then Twitter space, and I was there. I actually asked a very sincere question, because uh, every aspect of the free quality education is definitely working, but I definitely have a problem with, uh, let me say, the mechanisms in place to make sure that uh, the malpractice is reduced. You know, so when in everyday life, I comment this. I say we have highly effective tactics for radical inclusion in schools, which is unquestionably a legendary accomplishment by the New Direction administration. But what controls are in place to ensure that the consequence of attending schools has the required qualities? Because a huge portion of students now practically believe that they must engage in malpractice before they can move further. Once more, the tutors have thought of accepting bribes from people as a way to improve their financial circumstances. This particular statement here, I think the minister will get problem with me adjective huge. I say, I say huge proportion. That one day or whatever it is, huge proportion. In fact, I can only say 10% of current school people believe in going through examination without malpractice. 10%. All other effort for make sure say we get a very quality or let education be accessible to students. It work. The free side, yes, it work. Even though you still get bad teachers where they exploit the school picking them. But that area of putting mechanisms in place for make sure say the malpractice not only secondary school but even university drastically reduce. I think the only mechanisms we made this is say it work now like where student they sit, they see the result. But the question we're going to ask, beside withholding results after examination, we go get any other method we go put in place for make sure say we make malpractice very expensive in this country. Now was those days possibly ask for let me say, is it a geometry set? Ask for to be pencil from your parent. But now we don't even add another expenses, which is mobile phone. And again, this one is being engineered by most of the tutors, with all respect to them, because they self don't take her now as their own way for get finance for build houses, buy motorcar. And this is not just happening in secondary school or primary schools. You go to universities, you get students them whole day they hang for leakages. You get those they no say where they sit the must touch the one way we conduct the exam, which is very, very sad. And at the end, we go and get a very quality lawyer, doctor, and other areas. So just like how it respond to me, the quality say we all get for come together. Even we say for the go school, we get for decide with mind say it is not just about having the paper. This is why most times some man go say I don't come out university. Yes, because uh you just go for the paper. Sometimes you go to university not to for can seek for job. You can for can create job. But if you not get the foundation for create job for yourself, honestly speaking, you will always they blame government for say government not create job. Other countries, yes, government they create the environment and they empower the educational system. But you get individuals where then self can decide say, well, let we go tribal for make how learn how to make motoka. Let we learn a bit from scratch without any malpractice. But this particular idea is missing in this is not just about Salone, the Mano River Union. So now a very great opportunity. Next time in their life, post you can go there. Education, now the most important pillar in any society where they think about development. It is not just about I get this, I get that, but how quality, how merited it is. And that merit side, it totally don't reduce in this country. Totally don't reduce. Everyone is now chasing the paper, not the education, but the certificate. I don't get worse. I don't get first degree. You understand? We get IT specialists there almost every year. We produce students them from the IT department. But ask yourself, what are some of the problems where we own a grown IT specialist them don't solve? Pass the one them way they come overseas. So this, if we go hang and be ask yourself, we get problems some side, yeah. Both the student and even the one them way they teach. Not everyone, but huge number. I'd use a huge deliberately because I know what they say. So next time when the minister they live and I go happy that everybody go there. It is not just about coming to media and blasting government. Hey, government this. Sometimes you go, you listen, and if you see say there is a real problem in society, you raise them up with those authorities. A very, very, very big opportunity. Minister come live and it not common now we own society. Don't say I don't generalize that we own society. It not common. Minister come, it not pick the one that way for talk with them. But it come and they talk on the things that we don't implement. Talk about in book we don't write, then it allow questions from the audience. So that is the place for they go and ask sincere questions. Don't politicize the question. Ask the real question. Because when you bring out real problems, you pose them on those within in charge. Then go look for the right solution. But if you go create something when it exists as a problem, you can't pose it on people. How you think say they go create solution for some problem when they exist? May definitely get problem in that area of reducing malpractice reduction. It is not just about withholding results, but again, another method for the in place. Yes, we know initially the Anti-Corruption Commission have start a very drastic and somehow unconventional disciplinary action against tutors them where they compromise the integrity. But again, that action was, let me say, almost unanimously condemned because we see as strange. So all just need to come together. You may even have just your first degree, but doing great things, especially the one we require technical areas. You get people when are just certificates then get. Sometimes, in fact, you get them, some of them when are online, then do their certificate in their IT stuff, then they do better than some of the one them we go get, even sometimes masters in them. Now them universities across the country. Because most times if you take your resources, you pay online for learn something, especially the IT stuff there. The aim is not just about the certificate, because most times, even when they train them, you go know say society get for look at your certificate inferior. So your determination could be la sabi this thing. Because even if you condemn me certificate, say I ban online, but are able, manifest what I train, you will get respect for me. Me don't deal with man them way. Most of them this way is Coursera, something like that way. Dr. Sengeh be bring for let people and going for go land. Where some go land the IT stuff. We go very close to them. Something like coding, they do them correctly as compared to we brothers then we go read IT and they renowned universities. So it was really a great show where everybody appreciate. people like come on board, ask questions, and he responds. There's one thing about Dr. Sengeh. You just ask him question. Like I say, now computer, and they give you the appropriate answer. The only say may not be completely accepted. So the way everyone say that word we use huge. It is huge. It is huge. The malpractice in the country is huge. It's definitely huge. Definitely huge. Very, very huge. All my away they listen to me, the SSF no say a huge. A huge.
No religion, no tribal conflict, opinion separate us. But hand in hand, we go into the pool. Democracy, the government of the people, by the people, for the people, alone now we own. And before the next sunrise, our future is already set. Let no politics, no religion, no tribal conflict, opinions separate us. But hand in hand, we go into the pool. Democracy, the government of the people, by the people, for the people, alone now we own. And before the next sunrise, our future is already set. We've been led too far, too long, so long. Our return seem impossible, even though we tried. Our progress gets difficult every day. We all need a moment of silence to know who we are and why we exist. We've been down too long in the slums, so long, with a declining economy and increasing adversities, designed by the vaunting ambition of those who lead us. The young men spend fruitless hours in the ghetto, no future, no hope. The young girls gave up their pride of womanhood. Why? For survival. Parents spend sleepless nights thinking how to settle the bills. Inflation causing madness everywhere. Our children have no hope for the future. See how we're falling apart. No religion, no tribal conflict, opinions separate us. But hand in hand, we go into the pool. Democracy, the government of the people, by the people, for the people, alone now we own. And before the next sunrise, our future is already set. Let us think and rethink it over again. See all what we've gone through. Let us feel a peaceful time and a better place for us to be. We are a people of love and splendor of God's beauty on our faces. Let's recall those days when men were men and women took pride in their full breast, with beads round their necks and hips. When the man say, Buwa bisye, Limba man say, Walibena, Kula man say, Jaramaha, Jabra man say, Babisekeo. Man say, Pamona, kusha. Yes, we could all live together again as one. Politics should not be an instrument of